I accidentally fell in love with my husband. I grew up thinking love was dangerous. I watched my parents tear each other apart year after year, like their marriage was a war they could never win. Love looked like slammed doors, shouting matches, and long stretches of cold silence. I learned pretty early that it wasn't something I wanted any part of. Most of my relationships were short and messy. I didn't stick around long enough to get hurt. I kept everything on the surface, never letting it get too serious. Love, I decided, was a trap, and I wasn't going to be the idiot who fell into it. At 25, I married my best friend. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't even a big deal. We had been roommates for years, the kind of easy friendship where we shared takeout, binge-watched terrible shows, and fought over who forgot to take the trash out. We used to joke that if life didn't work out by 30, we'd just marry each other. When a medical emergency and some visa problems crashed into each other, the joke turned into paperwork. A marriage certificate was cheaper than legal fees. It made sense. No pressure, no expectations, just survival. At first, it was exactly what I thought it would be. We split everything down the middle. Mortgage, chores, groceries. We still teased each other. Still had our dumb inside jokes. It felt safe, comfortable, predictable. Then little things started getting under my skin in ways I didn't expect. Like how he always remembered how I took my coffee. How he left the porch light on when he knew I would be home late. He looked at me sometimes, like I was something precious he didn't want to break. I tried not to notice. I told myself it was nothing. It all fell apart the night he picked me up from the airport. I was running on no sleep and bad airport coffee, dragging my suitcase behind me like a dead weight. I just wanted to go home and pass out. And there he was, standing by the arrivals gate, holding a ridiculous homemade sign with one of our inside jokes scrawled across it, grinning like a fool. Something inside me cracked open right then and there. I felt it, clear as anything. I was in trouble. I panicked. I pulled away. I stayed late at work, made excuses to cancel our movie nights, started laughing less, anything to keep from sliding deeper into whatever mess I made for myself. He noticed. Of course he did, but he didn't say anything. He just let me drift. One night, I found him sitting out on the back porch, a beer dangling from his fingers, staring up at the stars like they might have something to say. I asked him what was wrong. He didn't look at me. He just said, real quiet, I think we should start living separately. This isn't working anymore, is it? My throat closed up. I nodded because I couldn't trust myself to speak. He got up and went inside without another word. I didn't sleep at all that night. I just laid there, staring at the ceiling, feeling like I had ripped my own heart out and handed it to him. The next morning, I packed a bag. I didn't even know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay. When I walked through the living room, he was sitting on the floor with his back against the couch, his head in his hands. I froze. My bag slid from my shoulder and hit the floor. I don't want to leave, I said, my voice shaking. I love you, and I don't know how to do this. He lifted his head and looked at me like he saw me for the first time. Then he laughed, this broken, relieved sound that opened my heart. God, he said. I thought I was the only one. I dropped to the floor next to him and we wrapped around each other, both of us saying everything we should have said months ago. We are still married, not because we had to be, not because it was easy, but because somehow, even after everything, love found us anyway. It tore down all the walls I had spent years building, and this time, I stayed.